You know, I first became interested in video production way back when videotape production first came about for the public. I bought my first video camera in 1980. It was this great big individual camera, and I had to plug it into a separate unit that was kind of like a shoulder bag. And I had about, let's see, the VCR at the time, I paid $2,000 for it, and the camera was $1,200. So I had a $3,200 investment for video production. And I got to tell you, it was pretty archaic by today's standards. The quality was not very good. It was only 480p, and it was not anything like what we've grown accustomed to. So consequently, I did get a lot of early video footage of some of the jobs that I did, but I wasn't really satisfied and wanted to learn more. So I found out about this college course on video production and television production. So in the early 80s, I think it was about 82, I went back to college, and I just became enthralled with understanding video production. But it was different back then. You know, it wasn't digital. It was what they called linear production, where you had, you know, tape machine A and tape machine B, and they called it A/B rolling, and then you had a switcher, you know, so you'd have to have what you wanted on one and what you wanted on the other, but the third machine would be recording as well, so it was called lossy. So every time you degraded it a little bit, the quality of your production went down. And then later on, digital came along. Wow, that was like the most amazing thing. And one of the earliest products was Adobe's Premiere. And I got one of the earliest versions of Premiere, but I didn't understand it, so I went back, took another class. And that was the most amazing class, because it was like everything that I'd learned in college now was different. You could take bits of video footage and put them anywhere you want and erase and change, and it was lossless. You did not lose any of the quality of your production. So anyway, I'm dragging this one on a little bit, but what I want to do is show you one of my early pieces. I think this was from about early 90s, and I was trying really hard. This was one of my first bits when I was learning how to play with the digital editing. And in order to show it, I've got to play it on my laptop and put a camera up and shoot that. So it's not real crystal clear. You'll see it's a little shaky, but because the quality of the image was so small, to blow it up to fit this format, it would really make it fuzzy. So anyway, it's the best I could show you, but I've got a little bit. It's a little 5-minute video from, like I said, from about over 30 years ago. It was a redwood drop, and I really wish I had a lot of good stuff from the early days, because damn, we did some good jobs. Check it out. Well, as you can see, I was trying really hard to learn about special effects and video transitions and music and all kinds of stuff. So sit back and enjoy one of my earliest learning pieces from the early days. The difficulty in getting this tree down is going to be not to damage the neighbor's deck. Felling a big piece of wood like this with such a tight constraint here is going to be touch and go. It should go okay, but because it's in the line of that last post, it'll likely tag that post and tear it out. I just don't want to tag the edge of the deck. So I intend to make my cut up about here, and hopefully, if everything goes the way I plan it to go, it will clear all of this and we'll be able to reassemble the deck and the fence. Another difficulty is that the trunk is leaning back towards the building. So we are going to put a rope on the top, and I'll put a big wedge, and I'll put down into the woods here. We've got it tied to another tree. They've got a loop up here so they can increase their leverage. We've got 3 guys that are going to be pulling on this, but we really want to be able to pull it over solidly. Got to make sure I have a really sharp saw. Comfortable handle on a file is very important. Golf ball works just great. You can just pound a file into it. You've got a very comfortable file handle that is inexpensive and fits the palm of your hand very nicely. Every tooth is filed to the right angle to a very crisp point. All the rakers have got to be brought down so that we're not cutting too small of a sliver of sawdust. That branch. Let's straighten it up. We'll pretend nothing happened.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's not serious to me. That was beautiful.
Ah! That feels good. I like it.
I like the vibration. Nice and simple, textbook, you know?
Didn't break the tree. Pulled it up. Textured this down.
¿Tú qué pinche zapeta no nos ayudaste?
We've got a cut out.
¿Qué, güey? Si no, ¿por poco me ayuda? ¿A poco le jalaron? Very good. No.
Pulled it off. Yeah. Hey, good job, guys. Well, you can see the changes in my style. You know, I rarely put music on the videos because so often it gets flagged and, you know, they put a claim to it. And the transitions, I keep them pretty basic now. You know, what I was learning in the early days was all the bells and whistles of video production, but then at some point I just decided that I really wasn't about showing you how good I was at video production. It was all about teaching you about trees and tree care. So don't expect a whole lot of real fancy stuff, even though I know how to do it. I try to keep it plain and simple, like me. Thanks a lot.